Here's why instant gratification is killing your progress. A lot of you guys want to do one bicep curl and you want to have big biceps by tomorrow. Let me just show you a picture of how I started, right? And then where I am now, right? So my biceps at 15 versus my bicep at 25. How many repetitions do you think I did in between it? I did thousands of reps, showing up consistently, making sure I'm hitting my protein, thousands of days hitting my protein numbers, making sure I'm in a surplus, making sure I'm eating enough to even gain the muscle, right? And you guys want to do one bicep workout and you want to have big biceps. It doesn't work like that. You can't cheat the process. You got to show up every single day. You got to be consistent, right? You reap what you sow. A lot of us don't realize that it's not exactly the end result that matters. It's who you become in the process, right? Because the person I was in the beginning of the journey, looking for quick fixes, wanted something overnight. I used to say things like, oh my God, if I just had, a bigger upper chest and some traps, I would be good and I would stop working out. Listen, that was a dumbass mentality. And I realized that in order for me to even get from the beginning to where I am now with the upper chest, the traps, the biceps, all that stuff, I had to show up consistently. I had to show up regardless. If I wasn't getting as fast results as I wanted, I still had to show up because that's the person I had to become. I had to become consistent, relentless, ambitious, showing up every day, learning new things, always learning new things from different people in the gym, learning different things from YouTube. I had to change my mentality completely. So the person I am now versus who I was back then, of course, I'm not at my end goal yet, but just to get this far, I really had to change how I think, and it was a lot more long-term thinking. Instead of thinking, "Oh my God, I can grow biceps in 6 weeks or 6 days or 6 months." It's like, all right, let me see where I am in 6 years. You got to think more long-term, guys, because nothing worth having ever comes quickly. There was a kid in the gym, right? He was a young kid, like 18, 19. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, how long you been training? How'd you get your chest like that? How'd you get your shoulders like that? Are you on steroids?" Asking me all these questions. I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not on steroids. Been working out for 10 years. Super important to just be consistent, aggressively overload." I'm telling him all these things, and he's just looking for a short answer. He's just asking me all these questions like, "Okay, how do I summer's coming up, man? Like, how do I gain 30 pounds of muscle in 3 months, man?" And I'm like, are you, that's very unrealistic. You probably want to, give yourself some more time. But what are you doing right now? Come to find out, he's not showing up consistently in the gym. He probably worked out 3 times in the past 4 months. And that's number one. Number two, his nutrition is super inconsistent. He's not hitting his protein numbers. He's not eating enough most days. So his mentality is screwed, guys. He's not being consistent. He's not putting in the work, but he's expecting the results. And that's what instant gratification comes from. It's when you're not doing the work, so you want to get the results as fast as possible to make up for lost time. That's not how you make up from lost time. The way you make up for lost time is by learning from your past and starting to progress every single day so you can eventually get to your goals. Like for me, just to get from point A to point B, where I was super skinny to now, I had to show up on every single day. I had to show up after breakups. I had to show up after getting fired on a case. And it wasn't even my fault. Showing up after, getting in car accidents, car getting towed, car breaking down, still showing up every single day. And it takes that kind of relentless mentality to get to the next level. That's why you see a lot of people, they start the gym in January, but a lot of people don't continue because they're not consistent, but also they're chasing instant gratification. They think there's a best time to start, and there is no perfect time except the time you make perfect. So they think there's this perfect time to start. They think if they start in January, they can have results by March, and then they'll be able to go on spring break, and then they don't have to keep putting in the same work, and then by summertime, they'll still have the same body. And that's not how it works, guys. You have to fall in love with the process, because the process is what's going to get you to your goals, but also help you maintain your goals. And that brings me to one of my favorite sayings, right? This is how I could tell if someone's mindset is, instant gratification or long-term thinking, right? All you gotta do is ask somebody, would you rather have $1 million, right, given to you, or would you rather have $0 given to you, but the skill set of a millionaire? Most people will say, just give me the fucking $1 million, bro. Give me the $1 million. Most people will say that, right? And the problem is once you give them the $1 million, they don't have the mindset to actually maintain that $1 million, but also build upon it, right? I know a lot of you guys will say, oh, they'll invest, they'll do this, they'll do that. Listen, they've never been through the process of losing the money, making the money. They don't know how to generate wealth, right? So they're probably going to spend all the money because they have the broke mindset versus somebody who has a skill set of a millionaire. They can not only make another million, but they could go past that, right? Because they're a millionaire. They have the skill set. They know exactly how to make it. They know how to start from zero, right? So if they go back to zero, they'll know what to do. Versus the person who you gave $1 million, if they lose that money, they don't know how to get back to $1 million. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. It's the same thing I say with this journey. It's not about the end result in this journey. It's about who you become in the process. Because that person you become in the process, like I know if someone were to just put like 40 pounds of fat on me, I know I could cut that off and I know I could lose it, you know, because I've done it so many times. Or if you make me super skinny and you're like, you got to put, like if someone were to make me super skinny, I have the skill set, I have the knowledge, I have the experience in order to gain that muscle again. A lot of confidence, a lot of mindset things comes through experience, right? Like a lot of us just sit back, we wait for instant gratification, we read a lot of different shortcuts, and then when they don't work, we get frustrated. Well, why did you expect it to work in the first place? This also relates to when people slide in my DM, dudes, and they're like, yo, how do I get woman? How do I pull her? And I'm like, bro, problem with you is you're spending a lot of your time chasing women, right? No woman is going to be attracted to someone who spends majority of their time prioritizing and chasing women, right? You're only prioritizing women, you're chasing women. If you're doing that, you're not going to have the time to invest back into yourself and become the best version of yourself. If you're not the best version of yourself and somebody else is, then obviously she's going to pick him over you because he's, you know, the dude's going to the gym, you know what I mean? He's working on his finances. He got his ambition going. He's clean cut because he has the finances to, you know, keep up with himself as well and the self-care mentality versus you sitting on the couch, you know what I mean? Just waiting to go to the club, waking up at 3 p.m. out of shape because you don't go to the gym because you're always chasing women, right? And the fact that you're chasing in the first place just reinforces that you lack it in the first place, which makes you look desperate. That's what I gotta say. If you're not clean cut, you know what I mean? If you're not clean cut, if you're not in shape, if you don't got like a six pack or you don't have any muscle mass, you don't have a life purpose, then you can't really expect anything, right? Like you just got to think about this. If you're a woman, would you choose yourself? Probably not, bro. Bottom line is results take time and consistency. I had a dude DM me and he was like, hey, yo, how do I gain, you know, followers on Instagram and TikTok? And I was like, just post consistently, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you provide some value. And yeah, be consistent and interact with your followers. You know, he was like, appreciate it, bro, appreciate it. And out of curiosity, I was like, yo, let me go to this dude's page and see what's going on. Went to this dude's page. He posted 3 times in the past 3 years. On TikTok and Instagram. In that same time period, I probably posted 2,000 times, guys. So it's super, super important to be consistent, relentless, and you got to show up every single day, no matter how you feel, guys. And don't fear failure, right? Because building takes time, right? Failure is a prerequisite to success. Most of y'all fail and then you think it's over. You think, damn, I failed, it's over. I could never do anything. Failure is really just the beginning of everything when you really start to learn and when you really start to experience, right? That's where the real learning begins. A lot of you guys say you want to gain muscle as long as the answer fits into your current way of thinking, right? As long as the answer is something quick, like, oh, all you got to do is, you know, 1 push-up a day for 30 days. Or if it's some bullshit like that, that's when you'll accept the answer. But when I tell you the real answer, which is be consistent, progressively overload over years, make sure you're eating enough protein over years, you guys don't want to hear that, right? Even though that's the truth. If you're unwilling to accept the truth, that's the only answer, then there is no answer.